Fabrizio Romano has confirmed there is genuine interest in Bruno Fernandes from Saudi clubs for a summer transfer. Well, firstly, I'm not surprised. Secondly, there is a few things I need to say about any idea of selling Bruno this summer. And yeah, this one seems quite straightforward to me, but I see a lot of United fans saying other things. So there's loads of reports going around linking Bruno with a move to Saudi. And there's questions being asked by United fans. How much would Bruno be worth if he was to be sold? Should United consider selling Bruno at the age that he is? Now, I want you to let me know what you think in the comments below. I think a lot of you will know where my opinion sits on this one, but I'm going to run through it and try and look at it from both perspectives before I give my overall conclusion at the end. All right, I'm going to try my best to try and be as objective as I can in this one, even though you all know what I think about Bruno. Now, if you haven't seen what the reports are, let me just run through them quickly, okay? Reports emerged on Monday saying that Al Hilal out in Saudi have sent Bruno a 3-year contract. And as long as they agree terms, then they're going to go and approach United directly with a bid. Daily Mail, Chris Wheeler and Nathan Salt followed up on that and saying, United have got no intention of selling Bruno Fernandes. And then Fabrizio Romano came out and saying this, that Al Hilal have a genuine interest in signing Bruno, but United plan to keep him and have no intention of selling him. Now, this is not the first time that we're having conversations about Bruno and Saudi. This was a couple of years ago, when he rejected a couple of approaches and he spoke about United. I'm happy where I am. I don't look to rumours and I don't pay attention to them. Of course, things have changed since then. But the first question I want to ask then is this. How much would Bruno be worth if United were to hypothetically sell him? And I know this is probably what I'm going to do, and I can't speak for all United fans, but I think a lot of people will be looking towards this Coutinho, Barcelona-Liverpool situation where Liverpool sold a player who was one of the best in the world at the time. Man, Barcelona are so great at wasting money. My word. Anyway, they sold him for 142 mil, and it kind of funded their sale, funding their purchases for whatever came next. Mate, even 150 million. And then people are going to laugh at me for that. Even 150 million, I'm looking at going, am I? Am I really taking that? So as far as that question is concerned, I think it ties into this one. Because I don't think you can replace Bruno. And even if, hypothetically, you were to go on the market and you were to get 150 million for Bruno Fernandes, right? Okay. I'll just go out and sign Florian Wirtz. Yeah, he'll replace him. First of all, he wouldn't replace him. Second of all, he's going to go to Bayern Munich. And third of all, if he doesn't go to Bayern Munich, he's probably going to go to Man City. I'll bring in Matheus Cunha. Yeah, well, Cunha is supposed to be an addition, not a replacement for Bruno. No player can replace this Bruno Fernandes in this Manchester United team. No individual. You'd have to look at probably 2 to 3 players in terms of the overall impact he brings to the team. It just simply can't be done in one individual. Now, this question. 2 more questions left before I give you my overall opinion. How important is Bruno to this United team? And how important is Bruno to Ruben Amorim? I say he is the single most important player that he has. If you were to ask Ruben Amorim who he would choose, who he could trust, he would point towards his captain, Bruno. And at a time where there really is still so much change happening to this team, where there is still so many question marks about the mentality and the attitude and the approach of this team, Bruno is the one player that he would just not get rid of. Bruno is the most important player for Ruben Amorim. And this question, I think, is important too. How many years does Bruno have left? We had this debate in the live show this morning. Bruno's a physical freak. Like, normally when you look at a player who's 30, you go, well, they're 30, man. They're over the hill now. So they've probably got another couple of years left, maybe at the top level. But they're all going to start like, when Rooney got older, he started dropping deeper. And Scholes, same thing. With Bruno, he's 30. I'm looking at him going, well, you're not really slowing down. I think Bruno's probably got quite a few years left at the top level. And I don't think Bruno's going to be swayed by the money of Saudi. Football, he's an absolute football fanatic. So to go back probably to this question, I think, is the most important. The answer is no. You cannot replace Bruno Fernandes in this team currently. Not for where we are and the stage that we are at. You cannot replace him in terms of the goal. You could probably replace the goals and assists if you spend a fair amount of money. Could you replace the influence? No, I don't really think you can. Could you replace the trust that others have in him? No, that takes years to build up. I know that there's a logic to the idea that selling a 30-year-old Bruno Fernandes for 150 million, thereabouts, and then Manchester United signing 3 players, 50 million each, would overall make Man United a better, stronger squad. In theory and logic, I can understand that. I just disagree with it. Right now, Bruno is unsellable to this Manchester United team. We have got so much to do this summer. Ruben Amorim has so much to do this summer. So to actually take away probably one of the only pieces of a team which has so little that you can trust and rely on is too much of a risk. Do I think this conversation could exist next year after Man United have, ideally, our best summer that we've had in a long time? We make some really good signings, we make some really good sales, and overall next season, we look far stronger as a team so that we're not so reliant on Bruno, who is, by the way, on the verge of getting 20 goals and 20 assists for United this season. He's 1 off, I think, on goals. I think he's 4 off on assists. We might not get assists. But I think United would be absolutely mad to sell Bruno Fernandes, even if an offer of £150 million came in. Now, it's all well and good me saying that. If it actually was to happen, I know United would think about it, which is exactly why I pulled up all these questions, and I'll run through this again, about whether you can replace him, about how much he's worth, about how important he is to the team, and about how many years he's got left. Because all of those things combined, I think when you take it all into account, right now where we're at, we can't let Bruno go. I just think it would be a big mistake. And that's not Captain Hindsight coming in because of how good Bruno's been in the last few months. Anybody who's been a sort of follower of United People's TV will know how much I've defended this bloke. Certain players at certain times aren't sellable. And Bruno Fernandes right now, this summer, is one of those players. Even if an outrageous bid like this comes in, I think Manchester United will be stronger next season if we keep Bruno. Even if it means we sign less this summer. Just my take, just my opinion, but I wouldn't sell him for any amount of money. Would you? And how much would you sell him for? I'll be interested to know what you say in the comments on this one, because I know it won't. I think it was about a 70-30 split in the live show. Let's see what it is in the comments on this one.